It might have cost them the game, Michael. So that has to improve, and it's something that the Zips probably wanted to improve with after their first game against South Dakota State. It certainly didn't happen against Mississippi State.
So get a good look at John Gross now in his 6th season as the head basketball coach here of the Akron Zips. 95-60 overall with Akron. Best winning percentage, as we know, over the course of the last 3 seasons in MAC play, winning over 71%, and now at game 3 of this young campaign. Zips with that starting 5 that we are familiar to seeing, with Enrique Freeman, Trendon Hankerson on that front line. And settle back and enjoy it, everybody, as we get you to the hoop all night long here on ESPN. Akron in the home whites. So offensively, we'll see. And of course, as Jeff and I just related, they not shooting it as well as they like. They have taken good care of the basketball, and right away Xavier Castaneda is going to get to the free throw stripe. MAC tournament team honorable mention performer last year as the Zips won the MAC postseason tourney, and Jeff Castaneda, of course, along with Enrique Freeman, one of the main cogs in what the Akron's going to do offensively. And
Michael, he's been shooting it well. 50% on field goals, 50% on three-pointers. He's off to a tremendous start for the Zips. 25.5 points per game. He had the big 31-point game, career high against South Dakota State, and then followed that up with 20 points against Mississippi State, the only Zip in double figures.
Yeah, certainly came into this program as a very accomplished shooter, and as the year went on last year, as he averaged 13.6 points per game, and Jeff shot 37% from threes, and a lot of that so strong down the stretch. The reason why the MAC coaches had him on the preseason MAC second team this season. So Castaneda with a couple of makes at the free throw line, and we're underway on that strong drive to the hoop. There's Khalil Turner. Turner didn't get that to go for Morgan State. Held basketball, and the possession is going to go to the Bears of Morgan State.
Morgan State coming into this game with a win and 2 losses. Their losses, Michael, big-time teams. They were at Xavier and at Virginia Commonwealth. They beat up poor Penn State of Greater Allegheny, 130-49. I'm no math major. That's an 81-point difference.
Yeah, it is. That runner from the baseline is right there, and that's Malik Miller. Miller averages 13.3 points per game and just forced the turnover as well. So Miller connecting for the first Morgan State bucket of the night. Morgan State from the city of Baltimore. Campus pretty much right on the outskirts of downtown Baltimore. That's going to be an offensive foul. That's a player control foul that's going to go on David McCullough. That's a first on McCullough, already 2 on Morgan State.
The Bears' numbers, Michael, kind of outrageous through their first 3 games. And we mentioned that score against Penn State Greater Allegheny. That skews everything. You put up 130, you win by 81. That's why you're averaging 85.7 points a game and shooting it really well. But they are shooting it at 38.5% behind that three-point line. You don't do that by accident. So they can shoot the 3.
Freeman, excellent step through, but he didn't finish with that left-hand leaner. Greg Tribble with an offensive board. Zips get the fresh 20 on that shot clock. Sammy Hunter had it ripped away. Excellent defensive play by Khalil Turner. And Morgan State trying to turn that 4 over quickly. Turn the basketball over.
I would think this is a real time of discovery if you're Morgan State, Michael. They have only 5 returning players from last year's team. They have 9 new guys on this team and only 1 returning starter.
Right, yeah.
So you've got to figure some things out, and this is the time you do it before you get into conference play.
Well, John Gross wasted no time going to his bench, getting Nate Johnson in. Johnson with the basketball. Young man from Lakota East High School here in the state of Ohio. Now Freeman on the back down. Backing down Lewis Jonkum, and the Zips wind up turning the basketball over. Steal by Johnson. Johnson will attack the rim and is going to get to the free throw line. So Nate Johnson, and that's what John Gross told us about, he loves everything about the grit, the defensive end of the floor, and you know, his ability to turn the floor over from defense to offense, and he showed all of that right there, Jeff.
And he's getting playing time early on, Michael. I would think he's pleased with that, and I would think that John Gross is pleased with what's been happening, or he's not going to get it. 22 minutes a game, his average over the first two. And as a sophomore in this program, that's what you like to see.
See a very sturdy young man, well put together at 6'3". They'll try to split the pair from the line. Now for Morgan State, checking in is Cameron Hobbs. There's Hobbs.
Coming off that Mississippi State game, the Zips went only 7 deep, Michael, until that game was out of hand.
Right.
And John was asked afterwards about his rotation if it worried him, and he said, yes, he's looking for those guys, 8, 9, who can come in and really help the team. He's kind of figured out the first 7, but you need more than 7 to win basketball games.
Well, absolutely, yeah. You're right. He wants to ideally have at least a 9-man rotation, but there's got to be trust and confidence there, too.
Yep, absolutely.
And that onus is on the players to have the head coach know they're earning that. Well, Zips will get to the offensive end, looking for their first field goal make of the night. Freeman gave it up. This is Trendon Hankerson. Well, I think the basketball, as he was going to the rim, just slipped out of his hand before he could get it on that glass. So to the offensive end again, Morgan State. Jeff was telling you about why they're averaging 85 points a game, but
130, Michael.
Yeah, 130 will do that, won't it? Shot clock at 7. Malik Miller gave it up. That short jumper in the paint will go down. As connecting on that was Lewis Joncom. And they're pressuring the basketball. They'll release it a little bit, but pressuring the inbounds is this Rhodes Arena crowd looking for the Zips to pick up their first field goal make. Tribble gives Hankerson an opportunity. That 3 would not go down. Castaneda had an offensive board. Last touch, Xavier Castaneda, although John Gross doesn't believe so. A referee trio, now they'll change it. Zips basketball. Chris Beaver is the lead official tonight. Justin Shamian and Ed Phillips are the other 2 that have the striped shirts on. Darvin Clark will check in, Jeff, for the Zips on this dead ball.
Neither coaching staff real happy right there, were they? They kind of got that one figured out. Clark coming into the game, Michael, he's been one of those other guys that John Gross has gone to. He's averaging 22.5 minutes per game, so he's getting his minutes.
Triple hangs in the air, but had it slapped away from him. Again, that's going to be an Akron foul on the push up the floor as Morgan State trying to go quickly with Malik Miller. And that Akron foul is going to go on Nate Johnson. First on Johnson, first on Akron as a squad. So 3 minutes and 39 seconds in, Zips looking for the first field goal make. Miller will hoist that 3. Malik Miller, who averages 13 a game, one of 5 Morgan State Bears in double figures. Miller leads them at 13-3. Now Tribble using that physicality. Here's the first bucket of the night. Greg Tribble turned the corner and went strong off the window.
Greg needs to see that ball go through the basket a little bit. 4 of 18 on the field, shooting on the season. And so just getting the ball to go through the hoop, Michael, that's a plus right now.
Hobbs is going to load up the 3. Castaneda off the board in the push. Castaneda will turn the corner. Had it slapped away. He got it back, and now we've got a whistle and a Morgan State foul. That's going to go on Lewis Joncom. All right, Akron basketball when we get back. Zips have got their first bucket of the evening. We're tied. All right, back inside Rhodes Arena. About 4 minutes and some change into this one. Michael Rega, my partner, Jeff Phelps. Akron Zips trying to bounce back from, as we gave you a little bit on that 73-54 loss to Mississippi State. That took place in Philadelphia on Friday night. Offensively, not off to the kind of start wanted as of yet. Johnson had to pick it up. Now Tribble got fouled on that closeout. That's Will Thomas who committed the Morgan State foul. Looks like the Zips are trying to find ways to attack the rim against this defense, Jeff.
It's like a little shooting hangover too, Michael. Obviously, we talked about the Mississippi State shooting troubles. Zips just 1 of 7 to start this game. 0 for 2 on threes. That'll help.
Yeah, Enrique Freeman using the glass off the left block to get that to fall. So Freeman had a sensational year a season ago, averaged 13 points, shot 66%. By the way, that was top 20 in the nation in Division I. Freeman's got the shot rejection. Get it out of here as he rejected Khalil Turner. And now going to the hoop for Akron at the offensive end, Enrique Freeman. And going to get a trip to the free throw line. So shot blocking at one end, Jeff,
I was just gonna say,
running the floor, tried to finish at the other.
How did the guy who blocked the shot on our left make it down the floor before everybody else, Michael? It shows the kind of guy Enrique Freeman's been. Nothing but hustle on that basketball floor for the Zips. That was outstanding.
Yeah, beat everybody down the floor. So Freeman at the line to shoot it twice. About a year ago with Enrique Freeman. Remember the Zips, Jeff, went into the MAC tournament where they won 3 in a row over Buffalo, Toledo, and Kent State, right? To go to the NCAA tournament. Freeman really got hot at the tail end of last year. Averaged 14 points and 9 boards, Jeff, and shot 70% in that winning run. Now off the miss, Morgan State trying to push. Xavier Castaneda on the Zip steal. So Castaneda along with Garvin Clark, Trendon Hankerson, Enrique Freeman, and Nate Johnson. Freeman again with that right hand jump hook. Boy, he's so good. The footwork is so good off the block and into the paint.
Real nice soft touch down there too, Michael. And we talked about it in the South Dakota State game. He has a good left hand. He has a move going either way. He's really got a complete arsenal when he's down there in the paint.
Tried to reach in and come up with a steal and did get whistled for the personal foul. And on Enrique, that is for the Zips going to be his first personal foul. So on the floor right now for Akron is Amani Lyles, the 6'7" freshman. Off that spin in the paint and a strong delivery for Malik Miller. He is their top offensive weapon. And they like to have the basketball in his hands, and he showed you why there.
And that ended a 7-0 Akron scoring run.
Zips by 3 as they come to the offensive end. This is Hankerson. That twisting jumper. Off that back heel, Garvin Clark with an offensive board. Castaneda to unload. He left that 3 short, and that we're going to keep it down at the Akron offensive end. Amani Lyles was trying to fly to get that offensive board, and head coach Kevin Broadus, only you remember that followed the college basketball scene a couple years ago, those real strong Maryland Terrapins tournament teams, Jeff, under Mark Turgeon. Broadus was one of his top assistants and a big-time recruiter around the DMV, as they call it, District of Columbia and Maryland, Virginia.
Was an assistant coach at George Washington and Georgetown also, and head coach at Binghamton. NCAA appearance there.
So he's having a conversation right now with Ed Phillips. Monty Lyles at the line, and that basketball deflected out of bounds. John Gross extolling the virtues of his Zips defensively. Trendon Hankerson there.
It's nice to see Hankerson out there fitting in as quickly as he has, Michael. Obviously, a lot of experience at Northern Illinois. already you can see the calming influence that his veteran leadership has brought to this Zip team.
Yeah, that's a real good point, too. That's exactly how John Gross was looking at. Castaneda to one low, and he will sweet stroke that three.
I love his shooting touch, Michael. He gets a lot on the ball, but it's a real nice soft touch. He has plenty of arch. You can see why he's a terrific shooter.
Now trying to answer with that triple try was Khalil Turner. Thomas will unload. That didn't fall. Big offensive board. That's strike on the offensive glass from Lewis Junkum. So Junkum got it to drop on the offensive board. Akron by 4. Great to have you along tonight out of Rhodes Arena on ESPN. Johnson wheeling in the paint. Nate Johnson with that soft touch jumper.
There are minutes to be earned here, and Nate has certainly shown through 2 games that he deserves the playing time. He's out there right now, and Michael, chance for these guys to lock up spots as they get ready for conference season. That's critical.
Minutes to be had, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sammy Hunter, Greg Tribble about to check back in. Oh, that's a strong take to the hoop. And how about the finish by, check that, by Cameron Hobbs. Hobbs, who leads their bench bunch, got an N1 coming as John Gross is going to go wholesale substitutions here. Tavari Johnson, the 5'11 freshman who wears number 5 on the floor. Greg Tribble is back. Sammy Hunter has also checked in. Sammy Hunter, the Ole Miss transfer. Hunter, the 6'9" junior. Well, connecting on that three-point opportunity, Cameron Hobbs to pull. Well, the Zips getting careless there in the backcourt as Tavari Johnson's pass didn't have a whole lot of steam on it. It was almost ripped away by Isaiah Burke.
Now, when you get these opportunities, Michael, if you're a guy like Tavari Johnson, you better take advantage of it.
It'll stay with the Zips. Pressure being applied there on the knockaway. There was Rob Lawson. Lawson, another one that comes off the bench of head coach Kevin Broadus. Now the Zips have numbers. Tribble, excellent look to Hunter. Count it. Sammy Hunter off glass, 6'9", using that size. And how about Greg Tribble, who found him with that good dish as he broke down the defense in the paint.
The Zips are waiting, Michael, for Sammy to kind of bust out a little bit. First 2 games, his new team, you mentioned, transferring in from Ole Miss. He's 4 of 18 from the field in the first 2 games. This helps. 1 of 11 on threes. He has that three-point shooting touch. His best game at Ole Miss was an 11-point game against Kentucky, and 9 of those 11 points came on threes. So that's there. He just has to find it here at Akron yet and just needs to get on track.
Young man from Nassau, the Bahamas. But you love that size, Jeff. 6'9", and the ability and adding the size and adding to the strength to the Zips front court.
And I love the combination with Freeman, Michael. 2 athletic guys, as Enrique told us, loves to rebound. Sammy loves to rebound. If you can team up with another guy like that, you can be a force. It's just a matter of Sammy getting comfortable out there.
Akron by 5. That step back jumper is way off the mark from Cameron Hobbs. Morgan State will keep it though, and firing home that 3 is Isaiah Burke.
Now, let's not get hung up on that game they played against the small school, Penn State Greater Allegheny. That school has under 400 students. They were in a 1-point game at halftime, Michael, against Virginia Commonwealth, a good team, down by only 1. They lost by 15, but this Morgan State team is ready to do some damage.
Well, they got a lot of talent. Of course, the Zips were able to break pressure there. Tavari Johnson, the 5'11" freshman out of Chicago Lions High School in the city of Chicago, got that to fall. Akron by 4. Again, that step back dribble off that front iron from Isaiah Burke. Oh, Garvin Clark now. Hunter's going to unload. Also shot that early in the shot clock. Stepping out of bounds as he accepted that pass was Isaiah Burke. All right, we will get this timeout. And trying to grab their second win of the year on top here in the early go in this first half by 4. Pressure against Akron offensively. Well, they're trapping the basketball quite a bit, huh, Jeff?
Yeah, they look good out there, Michael. Very aggressive defensively, especially.
Now firing that triple that is not going to go down. Sammy Hunter. So it's Hunter right now, along with Xavier Castaneda, Greg Tribble, Enrique Freeman, and Trendon Hankerson. So John Gross got a starting 5 back on the floor. Morgan State, offensively at 6 of 14 from the floor. Now that pull-up jumper, that's now 7 of 15 from the floor as Rob Lawson connects on that J, and suddenly Morgan State back to within the deuce.
These guys are feisty, Michael. They're competing here tonight.
Again, their campus right there in the downtown sector of Baltimore, Maryland. Tribble took contact. Look at Freeman. Didn't finish it on the offensive glass. Maybe he just wanted to pad the old stats numbers. Jeff, grab another one, then finish.
Offensive rebounds are a great thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
He went up the first time with the right hand. Love the fact that he came back with the left, Michael. That shows that versatility that we've talked about a little bit.
So Akron by 4 here. Now Hunter, excellent job of defending right there as he pretty much made it tough for David McCullough. Trendon Hankerson just had it ripped away from him. This is McCullough to the hoop. Once again to pull Morgan State back within 2. David McCullough after the steal running the floor.
It's been pretty back and forth here in the first half. Biggest lead for either team. Zips were up by 6 at one point, but that's been it.
The Akron lead at just 2 right now at 20-18. After that McCullough bucket brought Morgan State back to within 2. Now off the bench as you look at Xavier Castaneda at the free throw line, but off the bench. This is a young man who's named Toto Fabenli, who just checked in for the Morgan State Bears. So Xavier Castaneda, what a strong finish he had last year too. MAC tournament team member last year, and of course in Quicken Loans Arena. Castaneda averaged 14 points a game during the tournament and shot 37% from 3 as Garvin Clark will check back in. Clark is going to replace Trendon Hankerson.
Michael, there's more to growth in your game than just scoring points, but points in this case, I think for Xavier might say something. Last year he had 4 games of 20 points or more. First 2 games this year, 20 points or more for the Zips. So he's coming out and shooting the ball really, really well.
Well, I mean, let's face it, that's his primary focus and what's expected of him on this team. You got to provide points. Now that backdoor cut again and going off the glass, but not able to finish was Isaiah Burke. Look at Morgan State get all over the glass, and Burke now thought about firing the 3. Lawson will. Boy, Akron there, this is going to be, they're going to get the basketball, but Morgan State had 3 shot opportunities on that possession.
Michael, I've been impressed by their scrappiness. I wasn't sure what to expect. You see that they competed pretty well against Xavier for a while anyway, and then really competed against Virginia Commonwealth. I still don't know what to think of the blowout game, but I think what we should think about it is this. They're pretty athletic, and man, they compete.
Not sure. And I think John Gross and the coaching staff, they know that. Well, right now in the early going, the Zips got a lot of things that they've got to formulate themselves offensively. and as a team. This is Nate Johnson. Freeman had the basketball slapped away from him. Shot clock at 5. Tribble got fouled as the game official Chris Beaver blows the whistle. Malik Miller, their top point producer per game, just got hit with that foul. And the Zips going to get Greg Tribble to the free throw line to shoot it twice.
I looked up at the television the other day at work, Michael, and I caught the last part of the Not Ready for Top 10 plays on ESPN on the mothership. And it was Greg Tribble against South Dakota State.
Oh, yeah.
Going in and missing the layup at the end of regulation that would have won the game. And I wanted to scream at the television because I thought, okay, I get it. I know what you're doing. You didn't mention that he made the steal that might have saved the game, nor did you mention that he made the free throw that won the game for you in the overtime period. So
that was overlooked, huh?
I get it. You know, we all understand what you're trying to do. It's fun. I get it. But, man, I wanted to scream at the TV.
No, I hear you. Understood. How about Amani Lyles, the 6'7" freshman out of Beechcroft High in Columbus, collecting that offensive board and finished it strong. Bumps the Akron lead to 7, and that is the Zips' now largest lead of the evening. At 25-18, we're inside the 8-minute mark here in this first half. Now trying to go to work off that left block against Lyles. Lyles got some help from Garvin Clark, but that stick back is going to go down. As going to work was Colin Nemine. And that ends the Zips run that got him up 7. Now Tribble using that Lyle pick. Tribble in the paint, had his shot attempt slapped away. Greg Tribble wanted a whistle that never came. This is Burke. Burke firing that deep jumper. Zips get that board from the 6'7" freshman Amani Lyles. Castaneda wheeling and dealing. That is pass deflected out of bounds by Will Thomas. All right, John Groves clapping his hands on that Akron bench. He's going to collect everybody and talk about it a little bit under the 7-minute mark. Akron leads Morgan State by 5 at 25-20.
Tis the season for savings at Diamonds Direct. Join us November 18th through 20th for 20% off designer engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond fashion.
Along with Nate Johnson, Enrique Freeman, Xavier Castaneda, and Garvin Clark as his 5 on the floor.
Zips have found their shot a little bit, Michael. They were 1 of 7 to start this game. They've made 8 of their last 15 field goal attempts.
Yeah, so picking it up at the offensive end. There's that trap and double team again. Hankerson gave it up. Firing that triple, not going to go. Real good look for Garvin Clark. It's not that the Zips aren't moving the basketball, getting looks. Thomas with contact. Strong board by Nate Johnson, the 6'3" sophomore for the Zips. Freeman. This is part of his home on that block. Wow. Off that spin, that drop step, Jeff spin, and finishing with the left hand.
It's one of those moves, Michael, that we've seen, but it's a counter to other moves that he has down low. That's why he's so tough to defend down there. He can beat you a couple of different ways.
Freeman playing the defense. However, the short jumper goes down for Lewis Junkum. Well, Junkum connecting. Akron by 5 as we're inside the 6-minute mark in this opening half. Freeman again, left block. Hankerson deep triple. Good look at it. He front rimmed it. But Garvin Clark just reached in and is going to get whistled with a foul. And Jeff, those are the ones when you're basically, underneath your own offensive rim and commit a foul 94 feet away from the opponent's offensive rim, those are one that coach is going to tell you to think twice about.
You can always tell by the expression on a coach's face too, can't you, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
And something will rub you the wrong way if you're a coach and you see something like that. One thing the Zips have really been trying to emphasize tonight, Michael, I'm not sure if they've done it yet, in that Mississippi State game, Coach Gross was not happy with their interior defense. He didn't think it was very good. In fact, he thought it was poor. He thought their rotations weren't good, and they didn't communicate very well. I'm not sure if he's happy with what's going on right now or not.
Stronger communication there is Nate Johnson. He looked like a football running back trying to find a hole to slide through. Got cut down and fouled, and that foul is going to go on Isaiah Burke of Morgan State. Second foul on Burke. And Johnson's going to shoot it twice.
Like Burke rolled his ankle on that, but he's up. He's kind of walking it off. He looks like he's okay. I keep going back to a practice a couple of weeks ago where Nate Johnson was hearing it from Coach Gross a little bit. And, you know, was getting on him in a coach's way. And the line that sticks with me is, you can help us win basketball games. I think you can help us win games. But you have to do what it is we're asking you to do.
Yeah. Yep, and for every young player, there's those moments when, you know, moment of reckoning, right?
Yeah.
So this is how you got to play.
You want to play here,
you want that's right.
Yeah.
With the minutes.
And he's been getting the minutes, Michael.
He has. Johnson
he's listening.
Yeah, no question about that, yeah. Inside the 5-minute mark, Akron on top by 6. A jumper will not go down for Lewis Junkum, and the Zips want to push it. This is Garvin Clark turning the corner. Hankerson from deep. Well, Trendon's had some real good looks at three, has not been able to keep one down in the cup as of yet. Another foul is going to go on Morgan State. Lewis Junkum again got hit with his second. It'll get Enrique Freeman to the free throw line.
Michael, are you with me on this? I'm waiting for Hankerson to kind of go off and get it together, just like Sammy Hunter. You know, these are the two big guys who came into this program. They're trying to find their way.
Yeah.
You know, coming in from Ole Miss for Sammy Hunter and Northern Illinois for Trendon. Trendon scoring 8 points a game in the first two, and Sammy Hunter scoring 4.5 points a game. When they get untracked, here, John Gross is going to have some real talent to work with.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, as we talk to, you know, a couple of the Zip, Dustin Ford and Rob Fulford, a couple of the assistant coaches as this year begins, they really believe that Trendon Hankerson is going to be a, 13 to 16 point per game guy consistently for this Akron squad. Now,
well, as a junior at Northern Illinois,
yeah, that's exactly what he did.
13.9, he did that, yeah.
Against Mid-American Conference competition.
Yep.
So, but there's a, there's a period to get acclimated at the beginning here off the transfer. Oh, the Zips lead is 7.
Ties their biggest of the game.
That's a twisting jumper that's right there for Will Thomas, second leading point producer per game at almost 13 per on this Morgan State squad. So we've been telling you it's a tough group out of Baltimore, Maryland, hanging around here. Tribble thought about the three. Tribble. Hankerson again from deep. Looked good leaving his hand. Well, Trendon Hankerson starts 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Way off the mark is that three from Will Thomas. Lyle, right block, using that size, but had it partially rejected. Lyle got it back, and we've got a held ball situation. So the Zips will have a possession arrow when we come back. with the basketball and up by 5. Hankerson to play it in. Castaneda getting trapped in that corner. That's a travel on Enrique Freeman as he indecisive about whether to make that move to the rim or pass the basketball and got hit with a walk. So on the turnover side, Jeff Phelps, that is turnover just number 3 on Akron, as we said. Didn't shoot the basketball well in that loss to Mississippi State, but John Gross is happy about just 9 turnovers for the game.
He's got to look up at that board and see 1 of 8 on 3-pointers, though, Michael, and think, all right, when are we going to start hitting that shot? Because the Zips clearly have that shot.
They do, and let's be honest now, it's a large part of what they want to do offensively.
Sure.
With Xavier Castaneda and Trendon Hankerson most specifically.
Well, in the game against Mississippi State, and just to back up what you said, Michael, they took 49 field goal attempts. 27 of them were threes. So you're not going to jack up that many threes unless you think it's a really vital part of your game and that you can do it. They haven't been falling.
Yeah, well, it's something that, again, it's a large part of John Gross's Akron Zips offense. Is Castaneda will look to split the pair from the free throw line. Xavier now with 8 points on the night. Freeman's got 10 and Castaneda with 8.
I always like watching a guy shoot free throws, Michael. You can tell if a guy can shoot by the way he shoots a free throw. And Xavier's free throws, great rotation, great height. He has a shot. He knows how to shoot the basketball.
Yes, he does. Wiggins with that step back jumper and ring that baby up. That's Kevon Wiggins. Wiggins only getting about 8 minutes a night coming into this one. But in those 8 minutes, averaging 4 points per game for Morgan State, and he's got them back to within 4 now as we're closing in on the 2-minute mark in this first half. Freeman and Castaneda playing 2-man. Now firing a 3 and book that for Nate Johnson. Well, Jeff, you like that. Johnson came, off that screen weak side, and Castaneda got him the basketball.
He was 1 of 4 on threes coming into this one, Michael. So get him untracked a little bit, get that thing going. There's another weapon for the Zips.
Another offensive board, though, for Morgan State. Thomas to the hole. Threw it over the rim. Zips in a hurry. Greg Tribble. Tribble will turn the corner and gave it up. Firing the 3 again is Nate Johnson. So he's hit back-to-back trays, and Akron now with their largest lead of the opening half. They're up 10. And Kevin brought us, the head coach, Morgan State, with a very demonstrative timeout call.
Out here,
Jeff, I was a if a shooter hesitates a little bit, when thinking about whether or not going to pull the trigger on a 3, usually gets them in trouble.
You can't do it. You got to let it fly, right?
Yeah.
If it's part of the game plan, if it's part of what your coach should do, you can't hesitate. You got to let it go.
Yeah, and I guess we were just saying, it's a large part of what this Akron Zips squad under John Gross is. The lead is 10, largest of this first half. Higgins again. That didn't go down, but another offensive board. And that short jumper off the offensive rebound as Cameron Hobbs will connect.
He's been active and feisty, hasn't he, Michael?
Yes, he has.
In his minutes on the floor? 5'10", 165 pounds. And he's had an impact on this game.
Well, they're top of your screen. You see he's basically face guarding Xavier Castaneda. So you see part of the defensive plan there. Johnson got in trouble. Got his own offensive board. Kind of rushed that a little bit. Couldn't finish it. Well, Morgan State will try to push the floor. Zips come up with a rip away. This is Greg Tribble. With just 19 seconds, the shot clock is off. And now with 15 seconds left, Zips can use it all here to end this first half. Greg Tribble now with 5. Double team came. Castaneda, deep triple. Bang, bang, bang. With one more coming.
That wasn't a situation where, okay, he's just throwing up a shot late, even though it might have looked that way. That's his range, Michael. And we talked about how nice of a shot he has, the placement in his hand, the way he lets it go. That's a good shot.
Oh, that's his shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Xavier Castaneda is all about. He'll complete the 4-point play. Zips by 12. That'll count if it goes, and that'll end the first 20 minutes of basketball. So Xavier Castaneda with a dozen.
Tis the season for savings at Diamonds Direct. Join us November 18th through 20th for 20% off designer engagement rings, wedding bands, diamond fashion, gemstone jewelry, and more.
Getting to the basket, and Enrique Freeman had a couple of moves inside that were just really, really sweet moves. But the Zips just kind of, I'd say, plodded along, Michael. You build a 6-point lead, it goes back a little bit, but you close the half on a 10-2 run. And Nate Johnson kind of spearheaded that with the 3-pointers that he hit back-to-back. I've been impressed, though, with Morgan State's feistiness. They've been really competitive. They haven't backed down from the competition at all. And I've really been impressed with the way they've competed in this game. Now, what happens here in the second half? Because you have a team that was down big to Xavier by 24 at halftime in Morgan State, and they lost by 23. So they played an even second half. And then against Virginia Commonwealth, they were down by a point at halftime and lost by 15. So in their 2 losses, it's been different stories. What happens here in the second half is something that I think we need to keep an eye on, because Freeman inside has been really strong. We saw that in the first half, and a couple of 3-pointers dropping late. X had the 4-point play to close out the first half. So I would think momentum's with the Zips, and I think the first couple of minutes will be critical.
Yeah, and you know, the Zips got to the free throw line, shot it 19 times from the free throw stripe of the first half. Problem is, they only hit 10 of them. So, you know.
Problematic.
Yeah, another area I'm sure that John Gross will. Fellas, look, we're going to get to the free throw line. We got to take advantage of that as we begin half number 2. So the visitors out of Morgan State, the Bears out of the city of Baltimore with a basketball in their traveling road blues. Well, that's a tough spinning jumper that won't go down. Didn't happen for Isaiah Burke, but on the offensive glass is Malik Miller, their leading scorer, coming into tonight. And right away, they're going to trap the basketball, Jeff, off the Zips inbound and pick up a foul.
Doesn't surprise me that they've come out aggressively, Michael, because they've been aggressive all night. I've been impressed by the way they've played, and they're going to make the Zips work for this. You know, work to get the ball in, work to get it down the floor. Really have to play on, on top of the game, basketball game in the second half.
Yeah, they're pressing 94 feet, and then off the inbound, they'll trap. Now the Zips will beat that quickly. So Garvin Clark is going to start this second half and run the offense. Watch Enrique Freeman right away, left block. Johnson off the spin. Tribble got shut off. Shot clock at 4. Freeman. Isn't that nice? Again, the drop step, Jeff, with the jump hook that follows.
You can practice that stuff, Michael. You can get those steps down. Putting them in place and actually using them in the game, it's a different story. And Enrique's been able to really do that well.
He's got a dozen, firing up the deep three, rattling it down again is Kalai Turner. So Morgan State trying to hang around. Whether it's a make or miss, they're trapping, and they force the turnover here and turn it right back over as Lewis Junkum, in his haste to get the basketball up the floor, threw it away.
We mentioned there aren't a whole lot of returning players on this Morgan State team, just 5 and 1 returning starter, and that's Miller. We just saw Khalil Turner. He's a transfer in from Miami-Dade College, Michael. You're starting to see, if you're Morgan State, I would think, all right, some of our new guys are meshing pretty well, and we're starting to form a little bit of an identity. To me, that identity is feistiness. You know, they have not backed down. They have been all over it tonight.
Enrique Freeman with a puzzled look on his face as he got double teamed and then got the whistle as the foul was called. So just underway here in half number 2. Akron by 9, and with the basketball. Well, that's already the third quick team foul on Morgan State. Yeah. Don't forget, in the college game, you know, at 7 you start shooting the 1 and bonus. At 10, the double bonus on non-shooting fouls.
Maybe they're not concerned, Michael, because they looked at the free throw shooting in the first half. Huh?
Maybe, yeah. As we pointed out, yeah, Castaneda never got it to the rim on that 3. McCullough will attack the bucket. Easy deuce for David McCullough and Morgan State. The Bears back to within 7, trailed by 12 at halftime. There's their 4. Jeff, we played 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And on that blocking foul by Turner, that's their 4th team foul in 2 minutes and 5 seconds of play.
All right, can I go back on what I said about being aggressive and maybe being overly aggressive? And maybe that's going to haunt you later? We'll see. We'll see.
But, you know, again, this is the way they play.
Yeah.
So you're not going to change the way you play. And, again, I'm sure they're pleased. All right, we're going to send a team to the line 19 times. If they're only going to make 10 of them, advantage us, meaning Morgan State. And Nate Johnson, ill-advised bounce pass there. A lot of traffic around Freeman. Stolen away, and on the run to the rim, count that for Isaiah Burke. One more coming. He could cut the Akron lead down to 2.
It's a 9-2 run to start the half here for Morgan State. Remember, in the last game, the Zips came out really hot in the second half against Mississippi State. They had a 12-3 run. So kind of getting the tables turned on them right now, and some substitutions by John Gross.
Isaiah Burke looking to cap off a 3-point opportunity and bring Morgan State back to within 4, and he will do that. And Jeff just told you about the run for Morgan State. Akron led by a dozen at the break. It is a 10-2 Morgan State Bears burst to start this second half. Xavier Castaneda with Trendon Hankerson. Sammy Turner back on the floor. Well, get out of here, said Morgan State's David McCullough as he rejected that shot off the right hand of Xavier Castaneda.
David, one of 5 guys who have started all 3 games. The Bears have gone with the same starters, Michael, and trying to settle in, find something. They're finding it right now here early in the second half.
Castaneda put it on the deck. That strong defense again. Castaneda off the step back, didn't get it to the rim. Shot clock at 2. Tribble's got to get it started, or Hankerson. Drew some iron as that shot clock ran out. Miller on the push from Morgan State. Zips got a hand on the basketball and redirected that shot attempt out of bounds. It'll stay with Morgan State.
John Gross was trying to convince the referee that was tipped. He's making the hand gestures. He's pointing the other way. John didn't get the call, but it was a good effort.
McCullough, get out of here, said Trendon Hankerson. Hankerson with a shot rejection as McCullough was slicing to the rim. Well, let's see if the Zips run something effectively here in the offensive end in the half-court set.
You see a lot of body moving. You don't see a lot of ball movement, Michael.
Well, Castaneda used the ball screen from Freeman. Shot clock at 4. Freeman will roll to the rim. Shot clock at 1. Well, I tell you, they come off that ball screen and Morgan State will trap the basketball, but Jeff, they get back and provide havoc at the rim just like they did there. 1 second here. Freeman never going to get the basketball in his hands. Morgan State's got all kinds of numbers on the run out. Burke's going to get to the free throw line on the Akron blocking foul that is going to go on Trendon Hankerson. So this run for Morgan State with Isaiah Burke at the free throw line got a chance to get him back to within 2 if he connects on a couple.
10-2 and perhaps counting here, Michael. They've really come out of the locker room aggressively here in the second half. And after the way the Zips closed the first half on a 10-2 run, now it's been flipped on them.
Morgan State is going to get Rob Lawson. There he is. Wears number 3 back on the floor. To give David McCullough a respite. Burke to try to bring his Morgan State Bears back to within 2. Can't do that as it kicked out on him. 4 minutes into the second half, and Akron has yet to get going. And their lead is down now to just 3. Freeman. Drop step in the paint. Good ball rotation, but that's probably going to be a 3-second violation on Enrique Freeman as he was swarmed on. Second half, nowhere near how the first half ended for the Hope Standing Zips, and we'll see if that timeout, John Gross and the staff got anything squared away as the 12-point lead has been cut down to 3 now. Morgan State offensively, Burke going to hoist the deep 3. Got it. Tied up at 42 apiece.
And Michael, he's been the key guy here in the second half. He's really sparked it, both offensively and defensively.
Oh, Isaiah Burke launching that triple. So Akron's 12-point lead is gone. All even at 42. Sammy Hunter, that's too firm on that deep 3. Enrique Freeman had it rejected underneath the hoop by Colin Nemene. Morgan State can take the lead on this trip to the offensive end.
Michael, they're really just outworking the Akron Zips right now. And there's not much more to say about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something that's not lost on John Gross and the staff. Nemene left it short. Freeman aboard. Akron trying to regain the lead on this trip to the offensive end. Castaneda will use the Freeman ball screen. Dribble to the hole. Left it on the underside of the rim. Well, the Zips have life spent tough in the paint and around the rim trying to finish, huh?
Hasn't it, though? Just been a lot of activity inside by Morgan State.
Opportunity to take the lead from Morgan State, but Colin Nemene left it short. And it'll be Morgan State basketball right in front of the Akron student section here, who see them all standing up there at the bottom of your screen. And A lot of them letting the officiated trio know they weren't in approval of that particular call.
That was nicely put, Michael.
Thank you. Well, Morgan State trying to regain the lead. Going glass with that right hand is their leading points producer, Malik Miller. Sweet move, and he got that to fall.
Michael, that's a 16-2 start here in the second half for Morgan State.
Yep, Zips led at 40-28 at the break. Not anymore. Jeff just said 16-2. It's been all Morgan State. Freeman. There's a triple team. Jeff, Zips are going to have to start hitting some perimeter shots to kind of ease up all of that traffic in the paint from Morgan State defensively.
Nominee's been really active inside there. McCullough's done a nice job as well. And Turner has been so active, it's been unbelievable. There's Turner, number one.
Well, on every catch, too, from the Zips big Enrique Freeman, either on the block or in the paint, what? Two defenders at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes there have been three that have swarmed him.
And one thing, and even though they scored in the first half, Michael, Xavier had 12 and Freeman had 10. They have had to work for everything tonight. Clearly, they have been the focal point of the defensive effort by Morgan State tonight.
Castaneda will hoist a three. Look good, leaving his hand. That's a foul on Morgan State. They got Colin Nominee on that foul, and that is what is that team foul number 6? So the next non-shooting foul on the defensive end of the floor will put Akron in the one in bonus for the rest of this game. Now firing the three, Trendon Hankerson. Nothing falling for Hankerson yet tonight. Big offensive board, Sammy Hunter. So the Zips get a prolonged possession here. Shot clock at 5. Garvin Clark got a fire at shot clock at 1. Drew some iron. Freeman. Now what are they getting there?
Whatever it is, John Gross is not in agreement.
It appeared as if Garvin Clark's three-point attempt, as the shot clock was running out, did draw some rim.
Yeah. And some board.
So they termed it a Class B technical foul. One shot opportunity there for Morgan State. The basketball will go back to Akron. We did not get a determination on why that was called. But as Jeff and I have been telling you, Akron's got some work to do now. They've gone 7 minutes in this second half. Can Garvin Clark end it? Nope.
Wow.
Off the mark from 3. 7 minutes. Actually 7 minutes now and 20 seconds without points. That shot rejection from Akron as Isaiah Burke got swatted away.
Zips are 1 of 12, Michael, shooting here in the second half.
Hunter! That's how you end a drought as he rocked the rim going strong. Sammy Hunter flying off the baseline.
That's the aggressiveness that we've seen from Morgan State all night. And it might be the first time in the second half we've seen it from the Zips.
It's really the first time, yeah, that we've seen that as Hunter took it upon himself to go strong to the iron. This is Burke. Short shot clock, Morgan State. It's at 3. Burke being double teamed, and that's an illegal screen being called on Colin Nemene of Morgan State.
Now we're seeing the energy coming out of the Zips, Michael, for the first time this half. I think it's interesting. 1 of 7 to start the game shooting for the Zips. 1 of 12 to start the second half shooting for the Zips.
We'll see. They get a chance to talk about it here. Exactly 12. forward here in the second half, 16-4. And their once 12-point lead, Jeff, has now found Morgan State getting all even at 44.
Michael, I think the whole thing to start the half has been energy. Morgan State has had it. The Zips really haven't. And then when they started to get some energy, the shots weren't falling. So maybe Sammy Hunter's dunk that we saw, maybe that changes momentum just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. You're right. Zips down to just 33% from the floor. Freeman looking to back down. Enrique with that short jump hook, and he got hit with an offensive foul, and John Gross is furious.
Well, there's the energy. John has it. They can rub off on his team and continue to rub off on his team. But man, he's fired up.
That's 2 on Enrique Freeman on the personal foul side. So Morgan State at the offensive end, trying to go through traffic, and it should be a, well, I thought it was going to be a walk, but they called it a held ball situation. Alternating possession arrow gives the basketball to the Akron Zips.
If you're John Gross, Michael, you have to be concerned about your shooting, and not just tonight, but it's certainly a carryover from the Mississippi State game.
Yep, yeah. Well, you and I mentioned that, you know, as we came on the air tonight. Hunter put it on the deck. Freeman right block, off the spin, went glass with that jump hook. The deluxe offensive skills of Enrique Freeman.
And out a little bit on that one, Michael. And he was just out of the paint when he did that. Shows a little bit of range on those low post moves.
Second double-double already this young season. He's got 14 points and 10 boards, does Enrique Freeman. This is Miller. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Malik Miller, Morgan State's top offensive point producer. Jeff, as he made that move, he used that off arm to clear space.
Usually frowned upon by officials, if they see it.
That's one way to say it, yeah. Can Akron build on their scant 2-point advantage here? Castaneda being hounded by Malik Miller. Hankerson for 3, just not falling tonight for a very fine shooter, Trendon Hankerson.
Yeah, it has not been falling. And Castaneda scoreless so far here in the second half.
Well, Trendon Hankerson, no points tonight as of yet. Well, the Zips got to, continue to get it done on the defensive end of the floor. Malik Miller got shut off. Shot clock at 2. Excellent defense there. And they're going to call that foul on Akron. It's going on Xavier Castaneda, who off that errant shot attempt by Isaiah Burke was trying to keep Malik Miller off the glass. Greg Tribble is going to give a respite to Xavier Castaneda. Right now it's Garvin Clark and Greg Tribble along with Trendon Hankerson. And the bigs are Enrique Freeman and Sammy Hunter. So 20 seconds on that shot clock. I'm not sure that Khalil Turner figured that out. Clark to the hole. Count that. Count that as that basketball was slapped off the square as Garvin Clark was driving hard to the rim. So give Clark the bucket. Akron up by 4 again.
That did look like a shot at the other end, Michael, where they were unaware of how much time was on that shot clock.
Yeah, well, the shot clock had, reset to 20.
Yep.
They had all kinds of time. Isaiah Burke gave it up. That line drive jumper too firm. Boy, and that was, again, Lewis Jonkum just barged his way. Got an offensive board, and it leads to a David McCullough 3-point knockdown.
Hasn't Jonkman been active out there, Michael?
Very much so.
He's 6'9", 245. He's a big guy, transferred from Radford University. He's had an impact on this game.
Jeff, I think he could put the helmet and the pads on and play tight end.
I think he could, too. I like him at defensive end, too.
Sure, either. So Akron's lead once again down to just 1. Shot clock at 5. Hankerson gave it up to Freeman. Trendon Hankerson. Excellent look. Freeman had to finish that with a lot of hands in his face.
And with that shot clock.
Offensive foul, Jeff, go ahead.
With that shot clock going down, Michael, it looked like Morgan State thought, all right, Hankerson's going to shoot this ball. Instead, he made that veteran pass. He knew he had enough time to get it to Freeman, who had a better look at it.
Yeah, the former Northern Illinois standout. Real good for the Huskies was Trendon Hankerson. 6'2" grad transfer here. Young man from Novi, Michigan, right outside the Motor City of Detroit. And now an Akron Zip. Zip's real pleased they got him in the transfer portal. Hunter, that's a deep triple. Off Greg Tribble, who was flying on the offensive glass.
Sammy's looking for that three-pointer. He's been looking for it through the first 3 games. It hasn't been there. He's hit 1 this year. 1 of 11 coming in.
You got to get some to fall, right, Jeff?
Well, shooters have to shoot, Michael. And Sammy, for a big guy, has a pretty nice shot. That's part of his arsenal. So you don't take that away from him. In fact, you want him to start hitting those. It's the only way you do that, you take him.
He joins Xavier Castaneda, of course, Trendon Hankerson as the three-point marksman. That's Miller off the mark on 3 that Hankerson will board for Akron. Back on the floor for the Zips is Nate Johnson. Freeman wheeling in the paint. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Garvin Clark. Here comes that double team again. Doesn't matter, though, is able to drop step and get it started, but not finishing was Enrique Freeman. That runner is not going to go. And Garvin Clark's in a hurry. Clark to the hole. Had it rejected as he was trying to finish at the rim. All right, we're inside the 8-minute mark now. Akron's lead is
feels like a change is coming.
Jeff, I know we've got 32 minutes of basketball in the books here, and Akron knows that, yeah, they're in one here, as we said, against this feisty Morgan State Bears squad.
Well, one thing neither team can do right now, Michael, is back off on the energy level at all. Akron may be a little flat to start the second half. They've picked it up, so they're playing at a pretty good level right now. They have to maintain that.
Nate Johnson gave it up. Hankerson did too. Castaneda fires the deep 3 that circled the iron and then rattled out, and it cost the Zips a foul at the offensive end as Nate Johnson trying to get an offensive board contacted.
Zips going a little pressure here.
Their lead is but 3 as we're going to approach the 7-minute mark on this Morgan State trip to the offensive end. Malik Miller just backdoored Trendon Hankerson, and a real good look from Colin Namane, and the lead is but 1. Now Hankerson looking at Freeman. Got him with that bounce pass, and that's going to be a Morgan State foul on Colin Namane, and that is team foul number 10. So with 6:48 left, the Zips now in the double bonus. Every time they go to the line, Jeff Phelps are going to be shooting it twice.
We were wondering, Michael, when this would kick in, because real early in the half, Morgan State racked up a couple of fouls. This is the second time ever that Morgan State and Akron have played in basketball, but Michael, the Bears have a significant spot in Akron athletics history, because on a nice sunny day in 2009, Morgan State, the football opponent for the Zips' first ever game at Infocision Stadium.
Remember it well.
Yeah. It was a beautiful day. That game was wonderful celebration of football here, and I worked it with Jerry Faust, the former Zips coach.
Sure.
Just did it to a DVD so that folks could have a little commemorative little DVD of the day.
Yeah, very nice. Zips are going to get the basketball back as, well, Morgan State was out of a big hurry, pushing the basketball, but Khalil Turner couldn't finish it. Oh, Akron's lead stays at 2. So the Zips now, you would think they're going to want to attack the rim. They're in the double bonus. They shoot it twice on every whistle on the foul side against Morgan State. Hankerson thought about it. Now we'll pull from deep. Got it! Trendon Hankerson launching and lacing that 3 to bump the Zips lead up to 5.
And he has to think, Michael, where has that been all day? The shot hasn't dropped, but he kept shooting. He hit one when the Zips really needed it.
Freeman will rebound the Isaiah Burke missed 3. Inside 6 minutes we go. Hankerson. Hankerson, Freeman, Castaneda, Tribble, Nate Johnson, the 5 on the floor right now for John Gross. Trying to go to 2-1 on this young hoop season. Tribble, shot clock at 7. Got shut off, gave it to Freeman inside. Enrique didn't draw rim. Johnson went hard to the hole as the shot clock was going off. How about Nate Johnson? Just able to beat the shot clock with strength around the cup.
And I love the way he comes in on this, Michael. There's the loose ball. No hesitation, just go right to the basket. And think about what he's been able to do here. We saw the 2 big threes earlier in the first half. Now we see an aggressive play inside. This is the type of all-around power game that you want to see from a guy who obviously has a little shooting touch to go along with it. So think of the addition he could be long-term for the Zips this season if he can keep going and build from here.
Lively legs for that 6'3" at sophomore, huh? Well, look at John Gross.
Speaking of lively.
Very demonstrative with his, I think he's telling Enrique Freeman, no, put your shoulder down and explode when you're looking to finish around the rim. This is being looked at, by the way, video review here, by game officials Chris Beaver and Ed Phillips. For now, the Akron lead is back up to 7. So the Zips have been on a mini run, Jeff.
14-5 is the current scoring run. Since they fell down by 2, Michael, after Morgan State started the half with that 16-2 run.
So the video review results in the affirmative. Nate Johnson on his attack of the hoop. So Akron now, the lead at 7. Watch Johnson here again, Jeff. This is strong. 6'3" with a lot of desire and a lot of hops too.
I just love the idea of what he might be able to add to this team, you know, as they move forward through this season.
Well, he was really pressing too, as he was denying an inbound opportunity there for Morgan State's Khalil Turner, and head coach Brothers said, we got to talk about this, call the timeout.
This is a funny game, isn't it, Michael? I don't mean this game in particular, but basketball.
Other facets of the game got to come into play. Right now the Zips lead is 7 as we approach the 5-minute mark. How about Hankerson? Had a shot rejection there, then put the ball on the deck. Had it ripped away. Did he? What's referee Ed Phillips have? He's going to call a held ball, and the basketball alternate possession is going to go to Morgan State. Well, Hankerson got the board, Jeff, but then brought the ball down, and that swarm of blue-shirted Bears came.
That scream you may have heard was a collective scream from the coaching side of the University of Akron. Bring the ball down, Michael. Worst thing you can do, right? Coaches hate it for obvious reasons. We just saw why.
And there were 6 hands around Trendon Hankerson when he did bring that ball down near the floor. All right, 15 seconds on the shot clock now. Trying to backdoor Morgan State, but not able to convert was Khalil Turner. Akron got their stop as we're inside 5 minutes left. Hankerson. Now Freeman. Still plenty of time on the timer to 12. Hankerson going to unload. Got his second triple hit here in the second half. Trendon Hankerson. And now the steal by Nate Johnson. Hankerson's hit the 2 threes and has 6 tonight. And Freeman got tied up. Alternate possession arrow. We'll keep it with the Zips.
Mike, give Hankerson credit. His shot just was not falling all night long. But he knows when he gets an open look in this offense, he's supposed to shoot that ball. And he didn't hesitate the last 2 times he had it. He's given his team 6 points.
Yeah, you can see how pure it is. Just a pretty stroke. All right, we've got a full timeout on the floor. The Akron lead is 10 when we bring you back to road.
The entire second half has been 2 big runs. The 16-2 run by the Bears to start the half, and the 17-5 response by the Akron Zips to go back up by 10.
All right, Zips basketball with 24 in the shot clock. Well, great dribble. Ill-advised pass, and then reached in and committed that foul. And that is team foul number 6. So next common foul on the Akron Zips will get Morgan State to the free throw line. Zips have shot 21 free throw attempts tonight. Morgan State 5. Although Akron is only 11 for 21. Well, Morgan State at the offensive end. Zips trying to rip it away from Lewis Junkum. That shot attempt from Miller wouldn't drop. Castaneda in a big hurry.
Still hasn't scored here in the second half, Michael.
Yeah, Xavier's got a dozen. All of them in the first half. To go along with 5 boards. That interior entry lob pass from Johnson. I think he expected, he wanted to just put it up near the rim and have Freeman go up and smash it home, Jeffrey. Didn't happen that way. Akron turns it over.
Don't know if Enrique was looking for that pass in that situation, Michael. And if you're not looking for that, I would imagine it'd be difficult to turn it into what the man who threw the pass had in mind.
Zips will look for a stop here with their lead back in double digits at 10. Turner gave it up inside. Zips had a hand on it. Again, that backdoor cut, that would have counted had it gone down for Cameron Hobbs. There is a lot of movement, player movement off the ball from Morgan State, Jeff. Once they make a pass, they're on the move. 4 other players in this motion offense.
Don't you love that, Michael? I mean, it's tough to defend. You have guys moving everywhere. The ball's been moving too. You know, if the ball's not moving, okay, you have a pretty good idea, even if bodies are moving. But I've been really impressed with them tonight. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect because I thought, all right, you played Xavier pretty well in the second half and you played VCU real well in the first half. And that blowout in between just had me all messed up. I didn't know what kind of a team we were going to get a look at tonight. They've been impressive to me.
Yeah. A lot of this. Now they're gonna release this defensive pressure, but a lot of it on inbound passes tonight. Now Akron's lead is 8. Xavier Castaneda with Greg Tribble, Trendon Hankerson, Garvin Clark, and Enrique Freeman. Those are the 5 that John Gross has on the floor. We're at 2:50 left. Tribble gave it up. Freeman. There's that double team again. And it cost the Zips, although it went last off the hand of Khalil Turner. But again, Morgan State on every catch on the low block by Enrique Freeman. They're doubling down on him.
And what do you do in that situation if you're Enrique? I mean, try and get it quickly out to a shooter or quickly go into your move?
Yeah, Freeman's shot clock at 1, had to, and Garvin Clark's got a big offensive board. So that's a fresh 20 seconds of shot clock for Akron. Tribble gonna run it off the glass and got it to go down. There's Greg Tribble at his best when he gets down inside that free throw line. Lead is 10 again.
Tribble's not the biggest guy, Michael, but he's really good at getting to the basket. He can be really effective that way.
That short jumper is not going to go down for Cameron Hobbs. All right, we are inside of 2 minutes right now, and Akron's got a double-digit lead, up by 10. Looking to go to 2-1 on this young season. Castaneda running offense. Shot clock at 5. Tribble again to the hole. Castaneda had it rejected, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Jeff, you know, that's the 3rd time tonight as Xavier Castaneda was looking to beat the shot clock with a jumper. He's had a flying defender deflected for Morgan State.
Give the Bears credit, Michael. Obviously, if you want to try to beat Akron, you have to slow down Xavier, and they've done it here in the second half.
Burke will connect on that jumper, and now head coach Kevin Broadus is he's going to start play the clock here with a they'll get into some Thanksgiving tournament action. They know they're going to play Western Kentucky 6 days from now. And then on November 30th, Marshall, but the 2 in between TBAs, given where teams are in tournament competition. All right, the lead is 8 now as we're approaching 60 seconds left. Xavier Castaneda running offense with Garvin Clark. Shot clock is at 5 for Akron. Tribble, deep 3. Front rimmed it. 50 seconds left, 8-point lead. Got to go fast. How about Enrique Freeman? That massive shot rejection. Then Burke fires the 3 that doesn't go. And that should just about put it in the win column. Zips as going to the hoop. Xavier Castaneda, and he got rocked as he was trying to finish at the rim, and he'll go to the free throw line.
That was Turner there, Michael, on the defense and the foul. He's a good-looking player, isn't he?
Oh, they've got 3 or 4 young men that look like they could have real strong seasons for the Bears of Morgan State. 4 of these young men that are starters now were starters on the squad last year. Well, the officiating trio is gonna have to talk about this now. Kevin Broadus has tried to plead his case. So the officiating trio, the officiating trio is going to get the Zips lined up at the free throw line. We've got 31.3 left with Akron's lead at 8. And Xavier Castaneda will go to the free throw line for the Akron Zips. So Castaneda on the night with 13 for the Zips. Enrique Freeman leads them with 17.
Who'd have thought that Xavier wouldn't have a point in the second half, Michael, until 31 seconds on the clock?
Yeah, well, had 12 points in that first half for the Zips. Now that step back three and book that once again for Isaiah Burke. And so Kevin Broadus says, all right, we got it down to 6 now. Stayed away.
Right. Credit to the Bears.
Yeah, no doubt. 23 seconds left. The lead is 6. Castaneda fouled and will go to the free throw line to shoot it twice.
It's the man who you want at the free throw line if you're John Gross.
So as we said, you know, in the month of December, the Zips will play the next 4 on the road, and then they've got 4 straight at home here at Rhodes Arena for the first 3 weeks of December, playing Muskingum, Jackson State, Wright State, and Maine. So the Zips are going to have to clean this up, Jeff. They're 50% from the line tonight, 12 of 24.
And Michael, they're not shooting free throws well. They're not shooting threes well, 24%. They're not shooting from the field well, 36% overall. And that's not typical. That's not what John Gross is expecting out of this team.
The lead is 8. Is it cut to 5? Oh yeah, it's cut to 5. As firing home that triple hit once again is Isaiah Burke. Only a 4-point lead. Castaneda got fouled. He'll go right back to the free throw line. Xavier needs a couple of free throw makes here.
Rob Lawson took a pop on that one. Was the foul on him, Michael? And he took a pop in addition to it?
Yeah, they got
That's a double whammy for you. 10 seconds. Xavier can, dare I say, put this one away? I better not dare to say that. Yeah, I better not dare.
Castaneda looking to bump the lead up to a half dozen if he can make one more time. So a 2-possession game. If Castaneda hits there, so the lead is 6. 10 seconds left. Now the Zips do not want to foul here. Let Burke go ahead and fire the 3. Off the front iron. Another deep jumper that ain't going to down at the buzzer, and you can book this one to John Gross and his Akron Zips. A 65-59